In today's video, we're going to be introducing a new monthly feature on the channel. Today, we're introducing Top Shelf Hockey's Players of the Month for the month of October. We'll discuss all that coming up next. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. We review and discuss all 31 NHL teams. So if you're a huge hockey fan, consider subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. So as I mentioned off the top, today we're introducing a new series on the channel where we recap the previous month's action and take a look at who I think were the top players for the month. Now, as we know, the NHL recognizes the players of the month as well as the rookie of the month, but I wanted to kind of do things a little bit different, a little bit broader scope here. So I am going to have my player of the month and rookie of the month, but there's a few other things I want to have here as well. For example, we're going to have the top forward line of the month, the top defenseman of the month, as well as the top goalie of the month. So we're going to have 5 categories overall. I'm going to tell you who I think was the best in each one, as well as a runner-up. My first award for the month of October is going to go to the top forward line of the month. And I'm selecting the Colorado Avalanche top line of Nathan MacKinnon, Mikko Rantanen, and Gabriel Landeskog. They absolutely tore it up in the month of October. And all 3 of them are near the top of NHL scoring, led by Mikko Rantanen, who is leading as the top NHL scorer. The fact that Rantanen is even ahead of MacKinnon, #1 overall in the league, certainly shouldn't come as a big surprise, but I know a lot of people probably are. He had a tremendous year last year teaming up with MacKinnon on that top line and really had a bit of a coming out party, and he's following it up this year with an even better performance here yet again. He's certainly going to be another contract to keep your eye on here as we go through. This is the final year of his entry-level deal. He's going to be needing a new contract next year, and the Colorado Avalanche are going to have to offer him a substantial raise, absolutely, to keep things up here, to keep the band together in Colorado. Mikko Rantanen led the NHL with 21 points in the month of October. MacKinnon followed up with 18, and Landeskog was 16. So they were absolutely tremendous top line, in my opinion, the best line in hockey, at least for the month of October. Now, the runners-up in this category is the top line for the Boston Bruins, and a line who I greatly consider to be the top line for all or most of last season, and that's Patrice Bergeron, Brad Marchand, and David Pastrnak. They are still terrorizing the NHL's opponents here and tearing it up here as well. I just felt the Avalanche just took it up a little bit step further and outperformed them here slightly during the first month of the 18-19 season. Patrice Bergeron led the way with 19 points, Pastrnak followed up with 16, and Marchand 15. So again, all 3 of them had tremendous months for the Boston Bruins. The Bruins are off to a pretty decent start to this season. I do think they have the opportunity to regain the title of the top line in hockey, and I think we're going to see these 2 top lines kind of battling it out here throughout the season to see who is the top line in the NHL. But for me, the month of October belonged to the Avalanche. Now let's jump over here and take a look at the top rookie of the month. There should come as no surprise. I am in agreement with the one that handed out here by the NHL, and that's Elias Pettersson of the Vancouver Canucks. Pettersson unfortunately missed some games here due to a concussion at the hands of Mike Matheson to the Florida Panthers after taking a very bad hit and basically body slam in behind the net here against the Florida Panthers. Matheson ultimately was suspended for that, but unfortunately for Pettersson, he missed some time. Once Pettersson came back, though, he picked up exactly where he left off and has been tremendous here ever since. Elias Pettersson's played in 7 games and he has 7 goals and 10 points. So even with the time he missed, he's still the NHL's top rookie and the early leader here for the Calder Trophy. Elias Pettersson is proving that he has elite talent, and the Vancouver Canucks are in good hands here moving forward. I think we all kind of suspected Elias Pettersson would have a pretty decent rookie season, probably be in the mix for the Calder Trophy. A lot of people, especially Canucks fans, were a little bit hesitant to put too much of an expectation on Pettersson's performance. But I think it's safe to say at this point, you got yourselves an absolute gem, and he's going to tear it up. And like I said, more than likely at this point, looks as though he is for sure the early favorite here for the Calder Trophy. Now, in my opinion, the runner-up for the second best rookie of the month was defenseman for the Ottawa Senators, Maxime Lajoie. Now, Lajoie is even a surprise to even be in the NHL. Heading into NHL training camp here for the 18-19 season, even myself, who I follow the Sens very closely, did not even expect Lajoie to be on the roster. I figured he likely would be a call-up option later in the year should the Senators D-Corps run into any injury issues. But not only has he made the team, but he stepped up, played top 4 minutes, and looked exceptionally well. He's had a really hot start during the month of October and certainly deserves plenty of recognition. Lajoie has played in 11 games so far in the month of October. He had 4 goals and 3 assists for 7 points, which really for a rookie defenseman is pretty impressive. And like I said, he's playing 21 to 22 minutes a night. Not doing too bad on the defensive side of the puck either. Lajoie has been an absolute surprise for the Senators and been a big part of the reason why I think they've been a better club, we'll say, than many expected them to be so far early in the NHL season. Now let's jump over here and take a look at who I think were the top defensemen here for the NHL during the month of October. I don't think I have any choice but to hand it over here to Toronto Maple Leafs pivot Morgan Rielly. Rielly got off to an absolute tear of a start, as did the Leafs, putting up a ton of points early on in the 18-19 season. In the month of October, Morgan Rielly ended up playing in 12 games for the Leafs and putting up 15 points, including 7 power play points as well. So Morgan Rielly was really the quarterback on the Leafs power play, which was clicking at a very high rate. You've seen guys like Matthews and Tavares clicking and scoring at high rates as well, and Rielly was the catalyst behind a lot of those goals. He certainly deserves a lot of recognition. Now, since then, he has cooled off here a little bit towards the second half of the month and into November, but he got off to an absolute tear in the beginning. He had about a +4 rating, playing big minutes for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and in my opinion, he was the best defenseman in the month of October in the NHL. My runner-up here I'm going to give to Brent Burns of the San Jose Sharks. Now, obviously, as we know, the Sharks also acquired Erik Karlsson. So far, Karlsson has not stolen the spotlight from Burns in San Jose. He's still the main guy there putting up most of the offense. You could probably make an argument here that Burns really was just as good as Rielly in the month of October. He ended up putting up 15 points as well with a plus rating and playing even more minutes than Rielly, often playing about 24.5 minutes per game. So Brent Burns was an absolute beast here for the San Jose Sharks and certainly deserves a lot of recognition. Now, another guy I want to touch on quickly here as well was Thomas Chabot of the Ottawa Senators. Now, I just mentioned Erik Karlsson in San Jose. Well, with his departure on the Ottawa Blue Line, many people were writing off this team to be absolutely terrible this year. Now, they haven't been tremendous, but they've certainly been pretty decent and respectable and are currently hovering around a .500 record. That's largely in part to the play of youngster Thomas Chabot, who's really stepped in to replace Erik Karlsson quite admirably here so far. In 11 games played in the month of October, Chabot's put up 13 points with a +1 rating while playing, the most minutes on that back end for the blue line here for the Ottawa Senators. So really, overall, Chabot's had a tremendous season and has, filled in admirably here in the absence of Erik Karlsson in Ottawa. Now let's jump over here and take a look at the top goaltenders for the month of October. Now, some of these guys, when I'm looking through the stats here, didn't just go by wins and goals against. There's a lot that went into this because some of these goaltenders have been playing their absolute minds out, but not necessarily getting the proper support from their clubs to give them the stats to go along with it. But the guy, in my opinion, the best goaltender in the month of October was John Gibson of the Anaheim Ducks. Now, as we know, the Ducks have struggled, giving up a ton of shots. Gibson has faced the second most amount of shots so far in the NHL, only behind Ottawa Senators goalie Craig Anderson. So he's seen a ton of rubber, and he's done an absolutely phenomenal job, giving the Ducks a chance to win here on most nights. Even though John Gibson pretty much has a .500 record of 4 wins, 4 losses, and a couple overtime losses, like I said, it's not really entirely his fault. He hasn't been getting the support from the team in front of him a lot of nights, especially on the offensive side. He's not getting much run support, but he's put in a tremendous effort as an individual here for the Anaheim Ducks. He's boasting a goals against average of 2.39 and a .936 save percentage. While facing those many shots is incredibly impressive, and I really don't think there's been anybody better in that position in the NHL during the month of October. In my opinion, the runner-up here is Boston Bruins goalie Jaro Halak, who's been supposedly basically be a backup goalie, but he's yet to lose in regulation and has given Tuukka Rask many nights off and getting much more playing time than I know a lot of people probably expected here. He's had a record of 4 wins and 2 overtime losses in 7 appearances so far for the Boston Bruins. He's been incredibly stingy, has hardly given up any goals, and really deserves a lot of recognition for what he's done so far for the Bruins this year. He's got a .947 save percentage through the month of October with a 1.51 goals against average. So even though he is technically a backup, he's playing more than a lot of other backup goalies and really kind of stealing the spotlight here from Tuukka Rask early on. A couple other goaltenders here that I kind of just want to mention quickly. I'm not going to go through all their stats, but in my opinion have been playing very well and helping their teams be very successful so far. And it's guys like Andrei Vasilevsky, Sergei Varlamov, as well as Pekka Rinne with the Nashville Predators. I really think all 3 of those guys do deserve some recognition as well. You could probably throw in Freddie Anderson of the Maple Leafs as well. A lot of these guys are having great seasons, but I think Gibson and Halak so far are just kind of stolen the show so far in the month of October. Now, last but not least here, I want to go over who I think is the top player for the month of October, and this should come as no surprise. That's Mikko Rantanen of the Colorado Avalanche. Again, he led the league in scoring with 21 points, but an absolute beast here. Mikko Rantanen really broke out last year, like I said, with the Avalanche, and has really picked it up again here this year with 21 points in the first month of the season. puts him on pace to have an absolutely ridiculous season when he's due for a contract as well. You know, he's a big guy. He's over 6'4", 215 pounds. And he really complements Nathan MacKinnon and Gabriel Landeskog very well. And it's kind of, so far, almost stolen the show from him so far. So Mikko Rantanen, to me, has been the absolute best player in the month of October. We'll see if he can keep it up here. The Avalanche are on a bit of a roll and scoring their way to a lot of victories here so far. But they are getting some pretty decent goaltending out of Semyon Varlamov as well. So we'll see how far the Avalanche can go. They were the surprise team last year. And so far, I must say, they are surprising me here yet again on how much more they've continued to put up victory night after night more often than not. So I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments down below. Who would you award all of these categories to as the top players in the month of October? Leave your picks down below in the comment section and we can continue the conversation. If you're new to the channel here, I hope you consider subscribing. We cover all 31 NHL teams and there's plenty of content here for all hockey fans to enjoy. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button as well. I'd appreciate it if you did. As always, thank you very much for watching, everybody. We will catch you next time.